All right, good morning. This is e-learning day lesson for March 30th for Honors Math 3. All right, so last time we met, we were talking about the sum of an arithmetic sequence. So here we're going to talk about the sums of other types of sequences and how we can find those sums. All right, so hopefully you printed out that note sheet. So for the first page, I'm actually just going to show you some of my completed notes. Make it a little faster. So for the first one, we were asked to find the nth term of the sequence. So basically writing the explicit function for this sequence. So again, we notice that the signs of the terms alternate from negative to positive. And we talked about how for sure you should have a -1 to some n exponent as part of your explicit. Alright, so again, if we plug in 1 in for the first term, again, remember n represents the term number, right? -1 to the first power, which is odd, would bring this to be a negative value, which we want for the first term. If n was 2, so we're talking about the second term. Here you see the second term is positive. So when we plug in 2 in for n, -1 squared will give you a +1, meaning, okay, we're going to have a positive sign for the second term. Okay, so again, this is something you want to remember if you find that your sequence has alternating signs. Okay, so now to find the rest of the explicit for this, and always keep in mind that n represents the term number. Alright, so if n was 1, alright, we want to somehow get a 4 value in here. So one way we can get 4 is by taking our term number of 1, adding 3 to it, and that would give us our 4. But we also notice that the 4 is down as a denominator. Okay, so a quick and easy way to make that 4 flip down into the denominator is using what we know about the rules of exponents and having a -1 as an exponent. Alright, so here we're going to have, if n is 1, 1 plus 3 is 4. To the -1 exponent, we flip it down to the reciprocal of 1/4. Again, with 1 being the term number, it would be a -1/4. Right? Test it out again for the second term. Plug in 2 in for n. Again, we know that's going to give us it to be a +1. Plug 2 in for n here. It's 2 plus 3 is 5. Flip into the reciprocal, 1/5. 3 in for n. It's going to make this a -1 when it's all said and done. Plug 3 in for n here. 3 plus 3 is 6. Flip it into the reciprocal. That gives us -1/6. Okay. For example number 2, we want to list the first 5 terms of the recursive sequence. Again, recall with the recursive, right? You're always looking back to the previous term. So here we're given the first term is -2. Alright, so we want to find the second term, so we're going to plug 2 in for n. Alright, so a sub 2 is equal to 2 plus 3 times the previous term. Alright, so since the previous term is -2, 3 times -2 is -6, plus 2 is -4. Want to find the third term, we're going to plug 3 in for n. So a sub 3, meaning the third term, is going to be 3 plus 3 times the term right before it. So the term right before the third term is the second term of value of -4. 3 times -4 is -12, plus n, which again is 3, and that's going to give us -9. Okay. Not only is it important to be able to describe a sequence, it is also important to be able to find the sum of the sequence. Okay, so if we want to add up all the terms of the sequence leading up to the nth term, right, so we're going to use this notation. This is the summation notation, means we want to add. Alright, so k represents the term number. N represents the term number, so we're going from a term number of 1 to n. So we're going to add up the first term all the way up to the nth term. Right? So this tells you how many terms you're going to add up. Alright, so again, using that summation notation, we can write out the sum, finding the sum of this series or sequence. We're going from the first term to the nth term. So again, the way we can write it out, we're going to take the first term, so it's 2/3 to the 1 power. Get the second term, plug 2 in for x, and 2 in for k, 2/3 to the second power. Find the third term, plug 3 in for k, 2/3 to the third power, and so on all the way out to n. We're going to the nth term, so plug n in for k. Alright, so go with 2/3 to the nth power. So this is us writing out what the sum would be. Now we can't really find the actual sum because we don't know what the value of this last term is. It's going to the nth power. But again, this is what we can do to help us find the sum. Right? We're adding up the value of each of these terms. Okay, so again, you can see this example. Again, we're just listing out the terms, right? This time we're going to start with the fourth term. Right, so we're not always starting with the first term. Here we're starting with the fourth term, so I'm going to plug 4 in for k. So I have -1 to the 4 plus 1 times 2 to the fourth power. So that's going to give us all the fourth term, which when it's all said and done is -16. If we want to find the fifth term, we're going to plug 5 in for k. So here I am plugging 5 in for k, doing the math. I get 32. Alright, so we're going to keep doing that all the way out to the nth term. So I'm going to plug n in for k, and we get this. Okay, so we're adding -16 plus 32 plus, right, so on all the way out to the nth term. Alright, so again, we can use summation notation to describe a sum. So here we see we want to add 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 and so on, all the way out to this term. So sometimes students get a little thrown off and say, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? Why am I supposed to do 2 times 12 to get 24 minus 1 is 23? I mean, you can, but again, we're trying to write just the summation notation. So this last term, the way it's written, is very important because it tells you how you're going to write the expression for your summation. Right? This 12 represents the 12th term, right? Us plugging 12 in for our variable. So we're going to use the structure of this last expression to write our expression for our summation. Okay, so it's going to be 2 times k, where k represents a term number, minus 1. And we're going to go from the first term all the way out to the 12th term. We're going to add the first through 12th terms. Now we can test to see if we wrote this correctly. I'm going to plug 1 in for k for the first term. So it's 2 times 1, which is 2, minus 1 is 1. So that's the first term. I plug 2 in for k to represent the second term. So 2 times 2 is 4, minus 1 is 3. Plug 3 in for k for the third term. 2 times 3 is 6, minus 1 is 5. Okay, so we see that it works. Here for this example, again, we're adding them all up. So when we notice that each of these terms have this common factor of a, we got a right there, right? And we also have this factor of r. Okay, so we're going to rewrite this as, again, keying on this last expression here for the nth term, it'll be a times r to the k minus 1. And we're going from 1 to the nth term. So again, we can test this out. We plug 1 in for k. 1 minus 1 is 0. R to the 0 is 1. 1 times a is a. There's our first term. Find the second term. We're going to plug 2 in for k. 2 minus 1 is 1. R to the first power is r. A times r is ar. Plug 3 in for k. 3 minus 1 is 2. R squared. A times r squared. That's our third term. Okay, so there's our expression. Alright, so moving on to example number 7, we want to find the sum of this sequence described by this 5k squared, so we want to add the first through 6 terms. So here we're going to write out all of the terms, find the values of all 6 terms. All right, so again, it's also just simply plugging different values of k. All right, so we plug 1 in for k, we get 5 times 1 squared, which is 5. Plug 2 in for k for the second term, 2 squared is 4, 4 times 5 is 20, all right, and so on. So we're just going to keep plugging in these values for k all the way out to the 6th term, find the individual values, and then because we're looking for summation, we're going to add up all those terms. All right, example number 8. Again, just doing the same thing. We're listing out all the terms. So here, it's nothing fancy, it's just k. So you plug 1 in for k, so the first term is 1. Plug 2 in for k, second term is 2. We're all going way out to the 3rd term, so we plug 3 in for k, 3. And because we're looking for summation, we're just simply adding those up. Alright, so here we are going to start to talk about some different properties of sequences for summation and some formulas. Alright, so for the first one, so if you're looking for a formatting that is similar to this, and if you want to use this particular property. Okay, so here we want to find the summation from the first term to the nth term to the sequence that is described by this expression. Okay, so the property that goes with this summation is you're going to take, now again remember C represents some real number constant, so we're going to take that C value constant, we're going to take it out from the summation, and we're going to multiply that C value by the summation of the k terms. So k equals 1, that should be n. Okay, so the next one here, we are finding the summation of 2 sequences. Okay, so we're going to break it up as the sum of 2 summations. Alright, so we can simply rewrite it as the summation of the first sequence from first term to the nth term plus the summation of the second sequence from the first term to the nth term. Okay, so that summation, or the sum of the sums of the sequences, also works for the differences. So that one we'll plot real quick. So again, the sum of the difference of 2 distinct sequences can be found by taking the difference of the sum of the individual sequences. For this next one, right, so this is representing that we're trying to find a summation of a sequence that doesn't start with the first term. Okay, so if it doesn't start with the first term, right, and we want to find that summation, we can use this particular property, which says we take the sum of that sequence from the first term, so 1, to the nth term, and we're going to subtract the summation from the first term to the j term. So we're going to break up, basically breaking up that term value as a summation between some number j and 1. Okay, so once we get to a couple of examples, you're going to see how we're going to use these properties. Alright, so it looks like we're running out of time here for this video. So we're going to continue this on Tuesday. Alright, so you guys have a great day.